Genesis Evangelion is celebrating its 30th anniversary, and I couldn't be more excited. This series means so much to me. It's one of my all-time favorites. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, Evangelion follows Nerve and its Eva pilots as they fight against powerful angels, all while exploring deep psychological themes, existentialism, and religious symbolism. The manga, written and illustrated by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, actually began serialization in 1994 before the anime due to production delays. While it follows the same core story, it expands on certain events, offers deeper character backstories, and features a different ending as well. So if you've already seen the anime, I highly recommend checking it out. If you're looking to collect the manga, this video breaks down every edition released by Viz Media, including the single volumes, graphic novels, and 3-in-1 omnibus editions. Links are in the description if you want to pick them up, and using them helps support the channel. And if you love collector's guides like this one, consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out. That said, let's get into it. So Neon Genesis Evangelion's manga is fully complete at 14 volumes, but across the years it's been released in 3 different formats, and not all of them were finished. First, we have the graphic novel format in 1998, the earliest edition, but only 7 volumes were ever released before publications stopped. Then we have the single volumes from 2004 to 2011, the first fully completed release, collecting all 14 volumes in a standard manga format. And finally, we have the 3-in-1 editions from 2012 to 2014, the most recent release and fully complete, collecting the entire series in 5 total volumes. The first 4 are 3-in-1s, while the final volume collects the last 2 volumes as a 2-in-1. Each of these editions has noticeable differences from print quality, translation, and extras to overall reading experience. Let's break them down to see which edition is best for you. Let's talk about availability and pricing first, because not every edition is easy to find. Right now, only the 3-in-1 omnibus editions are in print. If you're looking for the single volumes or the older graphic novel format, you'll have to buy them secondhand, and prices vary a lot. The single volumes tend to be more expensive than the in-print 3-in-1 editions, which are $24.99 each, totaling $124.95 USD for the full set. If you want the most affordable and easy way to collect Evangelion, the omnibus editions are the way to go. Just to quickly touch on size too, the singles are the smallest, the same dimension as standard Shonen Jump volumes from Viz. The graphic novel is a bit larger in height, but it's also thinner, and the 3-in-1 omnibuses are actually slightly taller than a Viz signature volume, but definitely thicker, more in line with something like Alice in Borderland, since they collect multiple volumes in one. Let's talk about design next. The singles and graphic novels both use the original Japanese cover art, which is something I really appreciate, especially if you're a collector and want that classic look. That said, I've never been a fan of the black bars at the top and bottom of the singles. They break up the design a bit too much for me, and the graphic novels definitely look the most outdated overall, at least from a design standpoint. But if you like that more classic early 2000s manga look, you might actually prefer these. Most of the 3-in-1 editions stick pretty close to the original covers too, with a few changes. Volume 1 has new artwork featuring Shinji in Unit 1. Volume 2 uses the cover from Volume 2, Volume 3 uses Volume 4, Volume 4 uses Volume 11, and the last one uses Volume 14. They also updated the logos and spine designs, so the 3-in-1s have a cleaner, more modern look overall. One detail I really like is the spine artwork. There's a mix of Eva units and angels, and it gives the set a much more uniform and polished feel on the shelf. The spines also follow the color palette of the pilot featured on the cover, which I like. Overall, the 3-in-1s have the most modern design, while the singles and graphic novels lean more classic, depending on what aesthetic you're going for. So in terms of paper and print quality, the 3-in-1 editions are printed on a smooth matte white paper, and they feel really nice in hand. The singles are on off-white paper with more of an eggshell finish, and the graphic novels also use white paper, but to me, the 3-in-1s still feel a little more premium overall. Interestingly, the graphic novel actually has better print quality than the singles, which surprised me a bit. But the 3-in-1s edge them both out, not just in paper quality, but also in how the artwork comes through on the page. One issue that I've always had with the singles is that some panels are too dark, and you lose a lot of the finer detail because of that. You really notice it in scenes with heavy shadows or deep contrast, the details just get lost. The 3-in-1 editions do a much better job here, and the paper and print quality helps everything look more crisp and readable. You can just see more in the 3-in-1s. When you compare them side by side with the singles, the difference is pretty clear. It's not as drastic with a graphic novel, but that format doesn't fully collect the series, whereas the 3-in-1s do. So for print quality and completeness, they're the ones I'd recommend overall. What about translation, sound effects, and lettering? After doing a side-by-side read-through, It looks like all editions use the same translation and lettering, which is great for consistency. But I did notice a difference in how the dialogue bubbles are drawn. The graphic novel format looks noticeably different compared to the singles and 3-in-1 editions, which are the same. That difference likely comes from the fact that the graphic novel was flipped to read left to right, while both the singles and 3-in-1s read in the original right to left format. Another difference worth noting is the sound effects. In the original graphic novel format, the sound effects were fully redrawn in English. But in both the single volumes and the 3-in-1 editions, the original Japanese sound effects are kept on the page. Neither of these editions have translations directly on the page, but both include a sound effect glossary in the back of each volume for reference. So while the localization is more faithful to the original, you'll need to flip to the back if you're curious about what certain sound effects mean. Next, let's talk about the reading experience, how these editions feel in hand, and how will they hold up over time in addition to reading orientation. All editions use glued binding, so you'll get some gutter loss, especially in the omnibus editions due to their thicker 3-in-1 format. It's not a deal breaker for me personally, but it's something to be aware of when reading. One thing though that was a letdown is that I had an issue with my first copy of the omnibus edition. After 2 reads, the spines separated from the pages. And I was careful with the edition too, because I know all too well how brutal these larger omnibuses can be. I was able to keep some of the color pages, and while my replacement copy has held up better so far, the binding on these omnibuses aren't the sturdiest. Was it a fluke? I'm not sure, because the other 4 have held up just fine so far. Let me know in the comments if you guys had the same issue. That said, it's always something I keep in mind when reading them, so I'd love to see a high-quality hardcover edition with sewn binding in the future. That would improve both durability and the overall reading experience, but this is the area where I have the most concerns when it comes to the 3-in-1s in particular. As for reading orientation, the graphic novel format reads left to right, while the single volumes and 3-in-1 editions follow the original Japanese right to left format. So if reading orientation is important to you like it is for me, that's something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the extras, interviews, commentary, and bonus content that come with each edition. One of the standout features of the 3-in-1 editions is the addition of new color pages. You'll find a mix of fully colorized panels, especially near the beginning of each volume and chapter, and striking full-page artwork. These color pages are sprinkled throughout each 3-in-1, and they're easily one of the best additions to this edition. They're also exclusive to the 3-in-1s, so if that's something you value as a collector or reader, it's a big point in their favor. While the original graphic novels and singles include interviews and commentary in the back, the 3-in-1 editions are also rich in extra material. In addition to the color pages, they feature bonus content that makes them feel like more than just a reprint. If you enjoy behind-the-scenes material or want more context, both editions offer something valuable, but the 3-in-1s pack in a lot considering their price point, especially given that they are the only edition with color pages. So the winner here is definitely the 3-in-1 editions. Alright, so now that we've gone over everything, what's the best edition? Right now I'd recommend the 3-in-1 omnibuses. Even though I had an issue with my first copy falling apart, they're still the best way to get into the series thanks to their extras, color pages, and affordability compared to the out-of-print editions. The print and page quality is better overall too, and they don't take up too much space on the shelf. They also have a more uniform modern design that I enjoy. The single volumes and graphic novels are ones I'd only recommend if you're a collector or a massive fan of the series. I will say though that as of now, I don't think there's a definitive edition of Evangelion. I honestly think Viz can do better, and I'm hoping this isn't the final release we get, because this is an iconic series that deserves a high-quality edition like a deluxe edition. That said, a new edition is no guarantee, so the 3-in-1 editions are a great way to collect and support the series right now. Just wanted to put that out there because we've seen Viz do it for Vagabond with the definitive edition, and it's Evangelion's 30th anniversary this year, so here's hoping. If you want to see the other series I think deserve deluxe editions, including Evangelion, check out my Manga That Need Deluxe Editions next video. And if you love collector's guides like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'd love to hear what series you want covered next. That's it for the video, guys. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you all next time.